Christianity has a bad press problem. Some people think that Christians are out of touch, out of date, maybe even a little bit out of our minds. So they keep Christianity at a distance and they don't explore the faith for themselves. But I think the number one obstacle for non-Christians is experience. They, or someone they knew, had at some point a bad experience with the church. They were hurt by someone, excluded from something, or clearly abused by a system of power. And that bad experience is what keeps them from experiencing Jesus. Not ethics, not facts, experience. Even though the church should live with one spirit and one purpose, like Philippians 1:27 says, she has often, throughout the years, found herself in the middle of some of the biggest and littlest conflicts the world has ever seen. Wars have been fought, denominations have splintered, people have been damaged, all because we couldn't agree with each other. From then until now, the story has always been the same. Conflict causes damage. The Philippian church was in the middle of one of those conflicts. There was a group of people who had inflated their spiritual maturity to the point where it was about to burst. They thought they were perfect. They thought accepting Jesus meant they had done all the hard work and it was over. Some of them even believed that their religiousness made them better than other people in the church. And of course, that causes conflict. That causes hurt. It started arguments. It tore wounds. And it left people with scars. It really gave people a reason to pull away from God. It was the same thing in Corinth, another biblical church. They had that similar problem. They were proud of their spiritual maturity, and that was fracturing the church. It was a real danger. It is a real danger, and it's something that Paul recognized immediately. He saw it as a threat to the community and to the potential of reaching people for Jesus. So, he jumps in, he straps up his boots, and he just bursts their bubble right off the bat. It's hard to claim that you're spiritually perfect when Paul, one of the greatest Christian leaders of all time, stands up, makes a public statement that says, you know what, guys, I'm still working on my relationship with God. If you think you're spiritual, if you think you're better than someone else, that's not really maturity. That's the other thing. Now, Paul isn't going to talk about how to heal the wounds from conflict. He's not going to talk about how to pick up the pieces afterwards. There's plenty of places in the Bible that can help you deal with that. Paul wants to answer one question. How do you prevent conflict from happening in the first place? How do you stop it before it starts? And his answer is focused on real spiritual maturity. He talks about the process. Now, the technical term for it is sanctification. It means to be made holy, to be what God called you to be. We've already learned that we have a responsibility in this process. Philippians 2:12-13 says that we work out what God has worked into us. God's working in you, making you more and more like Christ every day, but you are working out that new reality. Paul's response to conflict is a relentless pursuit of Jesus. Now, do you remember sports? There was a time in the history of humankind when we paid people massive amounts of money to play games on TV, all in the pursuit of a trophy. They trained to be the best. They put their bodies through extreme punishment. They took hits. They ran. Their whole lives were devoted to sports. And for some people, that honestly sounds like another lifetime, like so long ago. And they can't wait for something, anything competitive to watch. Well, Paul must have been a bit of a sports fan, or at least he understood the powerful example we have in sports. So if you've been watching The Last Dance, it's a documentary on Michael Jordan's last season with the Chicago Bulls. In that series, you get a behind-the-scenes look into the lives of legendary athletes, all caught in the pursuit of the big prize, right? And Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, hey, even Dennis Rodman, they all desire to win. They have that desire. And from that desire, they hunt down their goal. They just track it right down like nothing else matters. They battle opposition on and off the court. They overcome obstacles mentally and physically, all to reach their goal. And for Paul, the pursuit of Jesus is just like that. It's relentless. Now, I'm not much of a three-point sermon guy, but when Paul talks about how he works out his faith, he actually gives us 3 points, so I'm not going to argue with him. The first one is, forget your past. We all have a past. Sometimes it's things we would just rather forget. Hurt, loss, missed opportunities. You carry those memories with you. They're part of who you are. Sometimes it's things we're proud of, achievements, success, glory days. And again, they're part of who you are. So Paul, he doesn't literally mean forget everything. Like everything before you became a Christian is all of a sudden gone. It's not like some sort of spiritual amnesia or like losing your keys. Forgetting means not letting your past hold you back. Secondly, if you're breathing, your story is still being told. If you're not looking back, you might as well be looking forward. Keep your eyes on what lies ahead. Right now might be the hardest time in your life. You might be experiencing some stuff that you just would rather not be experiencing at all. But that doesn't mean that the best time in your life isn't just around the corner. Right now, you might not be the person you want to be. You might have let yourself down. You might be acting in ways you don't want to act. But that doesn't mean that Christ isn't shaping you and molding you into the person that He wants you to be. Looking forward means trusting where God is taking you. Thirdly, be relentless in your pursuit of Jesus. Press on towards the goal. The prize, the goal, it's always to know Christ. We want to struggle for it. We want to hunt it down, track it down, do everything we can to win it. Win that prize. Now, after these 3 points, Paul pulls us back and he takes us back to the conflict and asks the church to stay teachable. He's like, basically, you're not perfect. Remember, guys, you're not perfect yet. We're all working out our salvation. And if you're having trouble with that, keep your heart open. Turn to God and He will make it plain to you. If you're sincerely pursuing God, He'll keep you on the right track. He might correct you. He might say, you know what? There's some things that you're holding on to that are not right, and you need to let go of them. But that's okay. Let Him correct you. I'm going to leave you with this thought from John Stott. You can become a Christian in a moment, but not a mature Christian. Christ can enter, cleanse, and forgive you in a matter of seconds, but it will take much longer for your character to be transformed and shaped to His will. So don't let pride get in the way of someone else experiencing Jesus. You don't want to be an obstacle for them. Pursue Him relentlessly. Give your life to Him in everything and do your best to model Him to those around you.